For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders.
Reverend, is there anything you don't do around here?
Yeah, well, school's been looking a little rough around the edges lately, and we thought it'd be nice to clean it up a bit for our new teacher.
Good idea. By the way, did the rattlesnake ever turn up?
Yep. As a matter of fact, we found Buford around the base of the table right there.
Wrapped around the base, huh? Wow. Guess I'm going to have to be more careful when I sit at a table from now on.
Yeah. Any progress in finding the bandits?
Not yet, but I do know they're here. I can feel it in my bones.
Only thing I can feel in my bones is aches and pains.
Well, I better get to work. Those bandits are going to catch themselves. See you later.
See you, Marshal. Now, there are also many other things that Jesus did. Were every one of them to be written, I suppose the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. John chapter 21, verse 25.
I knew I'd find you here painting and working on your memory verses.
I wanted to get an early start before the sun gets too hot.
Good idea. I brought you some warm muffins.
Oh, thanks, Vera. So when does the new teacher arrive? Miss Griggs, is it?
That's right, Winnie Griggs. Actually, she arrived on the train yesterday, all the way from Kentucky. You know, I think the kids are going to love her.
I hope so. A good teacher is worth her weight in gold.
I agree. Now, if we could just find a sheriff.
Yeah, but at least the marshal's here. I just hope he stays through the jamboree. So, have you seen our guests this morning?
No, I haven't. I think they were up early as well.
I was hoping they could help me with a few chores inside.
Of course. Want me to fetch them?
Would you? You know what they say, many hands make light work.
I'm on my way, Paul.
Not too shabby. It'll do for now anyway. Let's see what the back door looks like.
Yeah, I could sure use one of them tall glasses of lemonade right now.
Where could they be?
What was that?
Huh? What? Did you say something?
Oh, never mind. You know, it may surprise you, Nettie Zelma, but I wonder about things sometimes. Things like, do dogs lick us because they know we got bones inside? Or how does a sponge hold water when it's full of holes? I guess we'll never know. Hey, you want to hear a joke? It's a humdinger. You ready? All right, here it is. Why do cowboys ride horses? Give up? Because the cans are too heavy to be carried.
Would you hush up, Dalton Clyde?
All right, all right.
Oh, for crying out loud. Can't you see I'm trying to think?
About what, Nettie Zelma? Why on earth are we out walking around aimlessly in the desert? I'm sure it's not for the exercise.
No, it ain't. I just stashed some tools that we'll be needing, and I'm trying to remember where I hid them. That's all. Wait a second. This kind of looks familiar. Aha!
So when did you have time to come all the way out here to stash tools? Let's see here. We got lockpick, crowbar, dynamite. Wait a minute. These tools ain't for chores, Nettie Zelma. These tools are for thieving.
What's so surprising about that? We're thieves, remember?
Nettie Zelma, we can't do this. We shook hands on it with the Reverend. We made a gentleman's accord.
No, we didn't. I interrupted that cockamamie handshake, remember? So we ain't breaking no oaths because we didn't make no oaths. You can thank me later.
But I don't want to break his trust. He's been nothing but kind to us. He sees us as more than just worthless criminals.
Of course he does. He's a reverend.
Yeah, but he's also suspicious about us. You heard what he said, and here you are, proving him right.
Oh, I knew you'd be hard-nosed about this, which is why you need to let me do the thinking, Dalton Clyde. Listen, everyone will be busy during the jamboree, and no one will be guarding the bank, 'cause Wonder Junction ain't got no sheriff right now. So you see, this is the one chance of a lifetime, and we can't afford to pass it up.
But what about the marshal?
Oh, he don't scare me none.
Well, I don't know.
Listen, if we pull this off, it could be our last heist. Then we can retire and settle down somewhere. I promise.
Yeah, I wish I could believe that.
Morning, folks. Having a little disagreement over here?
No, sir, not really. Just some verbal sparring with my sister.
Is that so? What you got there?
It's just a bag of tools, that's all. Ain't that right, Don Clyde?
Yeah, exactly. Just a bag of tools.
Tools for what?
Well, you see, it's,
There you are. I've been looking all over town for you two. Excuse me for interrupting, Marshall.
That's okay, Miss Vera. What can I do you for?
Well, Paul wanted me to fetch our friends right here. He needs them for some chores, and he's working on the schoolhouse.
Chores?
that's right, chores. That's what the tools are for.
Yeah, see, Marshall? We got ourselves a crowbar for pulling shingles off the roof, and we got some.
Looks like a stick of dynamite to me, son.
That's right, Marshall. It's for blowing up the junk pile, if it gets too big, of course. At least that's how it's done where we come from.
Yeah, well, I reckon those aren't the kind of chores Paul had in mind. But anyway, Marshall, would you mind excusing the siblings?
Well, all right, Miss Vera. I know your pa is a hard-working man.
Thanks, Marshall.
I got my eye on you two.
Little miss, you done squirreled us out of a mighty sticky situation. I don't know what the marshal was going to do, but it seemed like he was going to bust us for something.
And would the marshal have a reason to bust y'all? Were you doing something you shouldn't be doing?
Well, not exactly.
Listen, I don't know y'all very well or what your lives are like outside of Wonder Junction, but I do know that when I'm pulled into a situation where I'm tempted to do something that ain't right, I think of Jesus, and because I love him, I want to live for him and do the right things.
Jesus? That boy we were talking about?
That's right. But of course, he didn't stay a boy. He became a preacher of sorts and began an amazing ministry when he was around 30 years old. That's about how old you all are, right?
A lady never tells her age.
During his ministry, Jesus did many works and wonders that astonished everyone around him. Even his words were a wonder after all. He's the one who spoke the universe into existence. He wanted everyone to know that there is only one true God, a God of love and holiness and power.
I reckon Jesus, being God, could do some mighty powerful things.
Yes, he could. He had power over sickness and disease. He opened the eyes of the blind. He healed sick people who were on death's doorstep, and even brought dead people back to life. He even brought himself back to life.
How'd he do all that? Some kind of trick?
No trick, just God's power. He also had power over nature. He spoke to the storm and it stopped. He walked on water. He fed more than 5,000 people with just 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish, with food left over.
Wow, that's incredible.
But the power I like to talk about the most is the power he has to forgive sins. When we disobey and sin, Jesus is the one who can and will forgive us if we ask him to. Now that's a wonder.
It sure is, Miss Vera. Thank you.
Well, I suppose we've left Paul waiting long enough, but I hope I've given you something to think about. Come on, let's get you inside.
I gotta find a way for me to reel Dalton Clyde back in. All this talk is filling his mind with ideas that are distracting him from our main objective. Oh, why'd we have to cross paths with a reverend?